Date today, the 30th. Hey everybody, it's Linda G and Auntie Mel.
Hey, hi everybody.
I
Happy
was
pre.
telling them I love those colors. Aren't they just beautiful?
Well, it's so pretty here in Chicago today. It's like almost it's gonna be 75, and I thought I want to put on like a nice aloha shirt and a nice color to
And
go
I
with it,
love that color. What color is that? What do they
like a,
call that?
like a turquoise.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I
Beautiful.
take when I go to Europe, I take stuff like this, and then at night I'll put like a shirt over it, so if it gets chilly, it's like a little jacket.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
gorgeous.
thank you,
That's
thank
one of
you.
my favorites.
I like turquoise. Yeah, thank you. I like this shirt because years ago I bought a bunch of silk ones at Hilo Hattie's, and they don't make silk ones anymore. And so when I went to Hawaii, I took my silk ones. There were like four of these shirts that are silk, and everybody that saw them goes, "Hey, where'd you get that? They don't make those anymore." And I said, "I've had them for years." So,
Have you heard anything from your friends in Hawaii how the storm did?
my friend Naomi Chinen, she is on Oahu and Honolulu. And she sent me pictures and like 4 or 5 blocks from her house that was flooded. Kauai got flooding. All of my friends and over there, my Ohana, my Hawaiian family, they're okay as well. Um, and then the No King's Day March in Honolulu. Honolulu's a really clean city. It's a neat city. And they had some threats. So they moved it over one street on King Street, which I thought was appropriate because
Yeah,
Iolani Palace is the only palace on American soil. And Queen Liliuokalani lived there. And they took everything away from her, imprisoned
I
her in
remember
Iolani
that.
Palace,
Yeah,
and
it was
finally she got her
terrible.
freedom. So I thought it was befitting that No King's Day March moved to King's Street. And I was saying that Queen Liliuokalani and David Kalakaua would be proud. So I think them having to move didn't happen. I mean, metaphysically, it had a reason, you know.
Right. But what about our friends who would come to our events and bring those beautiful leis?
Those are what I'm talking about, you know.
Okay, that's that they are
Jolene,
wonderful people.
Naomi, yeah, they're wonderful. Mary Fujioshi, Naomi's friends, they're just wonderful people. So if they
If they
came to
need
Sedona,
anything, let me know. Just give me a
I
ring and
will.
say they could use whatever. I'll
I
make
will.
sure.
Thank you.
So, do you have any announcements before we begin? And thank you guys for questions.
Well, we've got our event in uh, Gettysburg in June, and we're going to do another one in September. And so, because we had so many people that wanted to come in June and it sold out, so we decided to do another one in September. Um,
September what?
um, I got to think of the dates. Hold on a minute.
That's okay. Don't worry. We can
Yeah,
talk later.
it's at the end of the month.
Okay.
And then I've got an opportunity just now to go to Slovakia in July to teach. So I think I'll do that. And then May, I'm leaving on the Danube cruise. Um, Iceland, if you're not in the Chicago area and you want to go to Iceland, let me know. We've got openings, but we can't book air from Chicago because the air from Chicago is sold out.
Okay.
But if you're somewhere else, let me know. And then Galapagos, I've got a wait list for that. And so next year, I'm thinking about a cruise on the Mekong River, maybe a trip to New Zealand, and maybe something in Egypt. So,
Great. With
yeah, right.
the lunar thing?
No, with in Egypt, I was going to do a trip for the eclipse, but
Yeah.
I talked to the president of Mayflower, and he said he could put it together for me, but it's going to be too hot in Egypt when that happens.
116 degrees.
116 degrees, and I said no, I don't want to risk that because I don't want people to get sick.
Nate is thinking about pulling something together. You'd go to Portugal.
Um, Portugal's nice. I could do a cruise on the Douro River in Portugal. It's a lot of work, but I love it. But
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, Mayflower Cruises and Tours puts the tours together. I just, get the people, and it's less of a risk for me.
Yeah.
You know, um, but I really, um, Europe is great, you know. So, but there's a lot to do here as well. So I've got a lot coming, and I want to say thank you to Androniki because his products are incredible.
Oh yeah, Andrew, he's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
What about you? What do you got coming up, Linda?
I'm gonna probably, well, I have to go to the doctor today, and I don't know if they want blood work from me. Just a normal, because I'm not. I just need to have something checked out.
Okay.
That third mole hanging off my ass is just starting to bother me. Thanks for the visual, right?
Got to pull the hair out of it. Oh my God.
I've heard about. I think one time it was a girl that was a horseback rider, that inside her leg she had an ingrown horse hair,
Oh my
and
God.
we had to
Yeah,
pull it out. Ooh, yeah.
that can happen. It can weave right in there. I don't know.
I know you have to be careful.
Got to be
Okay, you
careful when you
guys.
ride those. Got to be careful when you ride those horses.
Right, right. So, start with the questions. You want to be, since you're the guest, would you like to be the first one, my friend?
Okay. Kate Sinclair said, "Will the monster end this war soon?" You mean the war he started?
It's terrible. And he sits there and lies, tells us they're working with him. They're not working with him.
When he says he's talking to Iran, Iran says no. Iran's not lying. Trump is.
Yeah. And the
Oh,
other thing, Iran just showed a picture of a whole bunch of special ops American military on a boat being transported with their hands around their back, and they're all prisoners.
you know, when Trump s- started this war, you know, it's always right before something comes out with the Epstein files. And if you'll notice, it seems like the Epstein files are silent, but they're going to get hot again very soon. And then I wonder what he's going to try. At first, you know, the first Epstein thing, it was going to be uh, Greenland. And then when it got hot again, the Epstein files, then it was Venezuela. I'm controlling Venezuela. Who is controlling Venezuela? It's a hot mess. And then when the Epstein
Cuba.
files got hot and heavy again, then it was, you know, he was going to take Greenland. Well, then he did Iran. And now then he talked about Cuba. I mean, it's all wag
Yeah,
the
but I
dog.
don't think they expected this sort of a hit from
They,
Iran, because I saw a military guy this morning talking about they didn't even know some of the things that Iran had. They were very surprised.
well, the problem is Cash Patel fired all the FBI people that were doing the intelligence and all of that that knew about all of this, and he
Yeah.
fired them. So, you know,
We're
Trump.
almost into April 1st, you guys, and then the first week of April, May, June, July, August, September, October, because November is a wash because it's the first week of November. So we've
Right.
got 6 months. Remember when we didn't think it passed fast enough? 18 months. We were all, oh my God, you guys. And they're talking about putting ice in there. But let me tell you, I don't care if they do. I don't care what they do. We're still going to win by a landslide.
That's what I see. Um, you know, you know, Trump is having meetings behind closed doors, telling people, House members and senators, well, if we don't take the midterms, that they're going to impeach me. So when he says
Oh,
that, he's admitting guilt right there.
yeah.
Um, and you know,
Well,
this
and
whole,
also his cohorts, they're worried too because they'll get impeached right alongside of him.
and this whole voting thing that went to SCOTUS, you know, that any ballot received after election day won't be counted, and it looks like SCOTUS is trying to favor Trump on that. You
Yeah.
know, that's just going to get people to come out in droves to vote.
And vote earlier.
Correct. And vote earlier.
I don't want you guys to worry.
Mm-mm.
I don't want you
Um,
guys to worry.
he's panicking, and you know this whole thing in Iran. You know when he campaigned, I'm not going to have any war in the Middle East. You know, I'm going to end the Ukrainian war within 4 days. The economy, I'm going to make it great. My tariffs. Okay, well, what are we paying for gas? Have you been to the grocery store lately? Ooh, let's talk inflation. Let's talk about how this war is going
Oh,
to
he
drain you.
doesn't care. He
He doesn't
absolutely.
care.
He's telling the news media he's bored already with the Iran war.
That's my point. He goes in. and he grossly underestimated Iran. And then he starts this stuff, but he has no strategy to pull out.
Yeah,
And it's like, you know, then he said there's no boots on the ground. I see boots on the ground in Iran. And if he does an invasion, you know, it's just horrific that our innocent American lives are going to be lost because of this crazy ass dictator we have.
exactly. Exactly. So, did I wrote on my community page, you probably don't look at it. Um, I had an incident happen to me yesterday at, I think it was at 10:11 a.m. And I was sitting there minding my own beeswax, really not doing much. I think I had the TV on. And all of a sudden, I don't know how many earthquakes. How many earthquakes have you been in?
None.
Well, in California, I've been through a couple of good ones, especially the Loma Prieta one. There's a boom before an earthquake hits. You'll hear this boom, and then and even that 4.5 here, it was loud. And all of a sudden, I got a boom, but it wasn't audio outside of this. It was inside of me.
Wow.
Like inside my psyche, there was a boom. And then I kind of vibrated a little bit. And it was like, whoa. I was like, because I didn't know, is the boom, I'm blowing a gasket in my brain? What's going on? Am I getting ready to pass out? Do I
Right.
need to call for my son? What's going on? And I waited, nothing. And
Wow.
no hits. No, nobody talked. Because remember when they talked to me before when I did the
Right.
spontaneous thing? He was talking to me the whole time. But
Right.
this time it was nothing.
Wow.
I wonder
Whoa.
what that was about.
Hmm.
Maybe it was a boom with something out in the universe with.
Could be symbolic of the earthquake, not literal earthquake, but the shaker, the earthquake that's happening in this country that's coming. I don't mean like a real earthquake, but I'm talking about the shakeup of what Donald Trump's going to
I
pull and
don't
what
even
he's
recognize
working.
this country anymore.
No, no,
He's just
none of us
ruined
do.
everything.
Right. Well, I see him
So that
gone.
brings me to my question from Antoinette. She said F-45 is having a illegal coin with his face minted.
I heard that.
Will he be stopped?
Oh, he'll have it minted, and he'll probably charge a percentage on each one minted. But once he's out of office,
Gone.
it's gone, just like that.
Even any bills that his signature's on with the U.S. Treasury because he decided he wants to say he's so desperate to be acknowledged, and nobody people will be using it to wipe their bums with.
Exactly. You know, this war in Iran, I don't see it over that quickly, unless he just pulls out, but I don't know. Um, the other thing is, what about Susan Collins? Oh my God.
She's such a
She
low life.
she voted for that SAVE Act, that and well he won't do it again. She seems so nice, but she's as mad as they come.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson.
Yeah, he's learned his lesson.
She's
You
not
know
going to
what?
win. She's not going to
He's
win
not
again.
going to win. People in Maine are going to vote her out. Um, this whole SAVE Act, the Senate didn't want it, and then they sent it back to the House, and I don't know. Well, I don't know. If it passes, I'll be surprised. But
I don't
what
see
if,
it passing, but it
I
doesn't
don't
matter
know.
if it did pass. We're going to win and we're going to take over and get rid of all that crap.
Right. What about that partial funding that, the Senate said we want it, to pay TSA, but not to fund ICE. And when it went back to the House, um, Grinder Mike, oh, I'm sorry, Mike Johnson, um, refused to even bring it to the floor. He goes, "This is a joke."
Yeah,
So,
they want them removed.
so they can't blame the Democrats for the shutdown because everybody in the Senate voted to fund TSA and just not to fund ICE.
Yeah. Yeah, they
So,
want them all out. He does Trump's bidding.
oh, of course he
But
does.
Trump did an executive order, correct? That they're getting paid.
I don't.
So,
I don't know, but I wonder how legal that is, you know?
yeah. You got a question?
Um, well, somebody says, how much longer does this stuff go on? Um, I don't see Trump finishing his full term in office. We've always said that. If
Yeah.
JD Vance become president, he's going to get impeached. He's not going to be president for long. We predicted Kristi Noem would be gone, and she pretty much is. Her replacement's worse. But, and I see the same for Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, all of those Trump cronies who are doing his bidding, they're going to have to face the piper, and it's not going to be pretty.
How about that woman that's up for confirmation? JFK's pick, RFK's pick. Sorry,
Uh,
RFK Jr.'s pick.
or
The
what?
the
What is
peace
what is
love dove lady. She thinks you should just take natural things to get over traumatic incidents.
what is she confirmation for?
I see she doesn't have the votes.
She doesn't.
Okay.
Mm-mm. What are they trying to confirm her for? Do you know?
Something along with him. He's chose her.
Oh, he'll be gone quickly.
And she's not a doctor either, just like him.
It's just as bad as drink bleach. Remember that? COVID.
I'll never forget him talking to that Deborah, whoever her name was, and poor, who was our other guy that he wanted to kill. He was in the
Dr.
back
Fauci.
like this, looking down, and his shoulders were.
Dr.
Deborah, what was her
Fauci.
name? She was one of the ones
Oh
that
yeah, she
worked.
had that scarf.
And he looked at her and he said, "Yeah, apparently, in effect, you could put something like bleach. Maybe they could drink bleach, and you got to have light. Maybe they could
A
put
blue
light."
light. A blue light.
And she just looked down. She wouldn't look up.
Let's see what we can do about that.
He's
Okay.
not very smart. He never was.
Oh, he's clearly not very smart. Um,
Okay, go ahead.
well, I just asked how much longer does this stuff go on? And we answered pretty much.
Yeah, I think before the end of his term. I think by the end of this year, there's significant. He might even try to escape.
There's
Now,
something
my
big coming.
question is from Maria: will King Charles see his grandchildren from Prince Harry before his passing?
Oh, I still don't see him on the throne long. Um, Harry doesn't have any kids, I take it.
Who?
Right? Harry.
He's got two kids.
Oh, oh, I got it. So is the king not seeing Harry's kids?
Well, Harry lives in the United States.
I get that. But I still think that the king is seeing Harry's kids.
Yeah, I don't know. They said, will he see the kids? I think he will see the kids.
Yes, that's a yes. I thought he was already seeing
I
them.
think Charles is the one that's angrier at Harry
Right,
than the king is.
right. Uh, you mean um, you mean William is more angry.
William, yes. Sorry.
I see Camilla getting her Waterloo, so
Yeah.
uh, she's not well liked by the British people, that's for sure.
No, she's not well liked at all. I'll never forget that time. Him and her got in a cab, Charles and Camilla, before he was king. And a huge crowd gathered around the cab. Do you remember that? And they were yelling at him and they were pushing the cab back and forth. Oh my God. You actually saw them scared to death.
I would have been.
Yeah.
Okay. Carol Jane says, will the massive success of No Kings March convince some Republicans to start openly breaking from Trump?
No, because they're afraid of Trump. As long as Trump is in charge, they won't move.
They won't move. That's
And,
right.
they're saying it was paid protesters.
This was the largest protest in American history.
Yeah,
There
Trump
were
doesn't have
over
enough money
there
for
were
them to
over
have all
12
got paid.
million people that protested, or however many it was. He doesn't have enough money to pay that many protesters. And
Yeah,
here in Chicago, not one act of violence, nothing. It was
nothing.
peaceful. It was all peaceful. People from different neighborhoods went to different areas in the city. I worked Saturday, but we know I talked to friends who marched here and friends in Honolulu and friends all over, and they were peaceful. And Trump wants to steer them to anger, to try to
Oh,
get them
he
to
was
be
hoping
violent.
there't be riots. Oh, you better believe it.
But it's not going to work.
And then apparently he was furious because he had some sort of event to counter ours, right? I got a
Right.
stadium and they couldn't even, I think maybe 300 people showed up.
It's like Dr. Lena Rodriguez says that Trump's followers weren't going to pull away off from all at once. It'd be piece by piece. And these No Kings marches are growing. And we had predicted that we saw just protest, record numbers of protests more and more frequently. And that's what I see coming.
Yeah.
And um, Trump's base, his little base will be his little base. But no matter how, look at what happened in Minnesota when people finally started standing up. He pulled Noam out. ICE is still there, but they're still doing the same crap, not killing people, but I think now they know better. I have a friend who's a flight attendant, and she told me, and other friends that are pilots and flight attendants, and I talked to them, and they told me some are based in Chicago. They leave from O'Hare, they leave from other airports, and the ICE agents that are there are doing nothing. They're sitting around eating and talking. They're not doing anything
Oh,
in
in
the
the airports?
right, right.
Yeah, they're not able to do anything.
That's right. So it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
Uh,
In the meantime, these guys are working and not getting paid.
correct.
They're
Exactly.
pissed.
Right. So I see many more protests coming, not only about No King's Day, but about the war and about all kinds of stuff. And Trump won't get the message. He doesn't care.
No,
But at least it's going to show the rest of the world how many of us do not like Cheetolini.
exactly. Exactly.
And we will get him out. My guides assure me of that.
Good. Good.
Um, there you go. It's your turn, Linda.
Is it my turn again?
Yeah.
Someone very close to me, along with 99 other soldiers in his unit, will have landed in Maine by Monday. These soldiers are intensely brave, as are all our men and women. My friend asked me to pray for them, so I'm asking our community to also pray for them. They're supposed to be in Maine for 90 days. ME, isn't that Maine?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, can you look at this and hopefully speak comfort to them? Some hope? God bless our military. God bless our military.
God
Definitely.
bless our military. I'm all about our military. Many in our military aren't for this stupid, unjust war that Trump,
Well, they showed
invaded.
those guys who were prisoners, and a
Right.
lot of them had their hands on their heads like stupid, stupid, stupid. I
Well,
should have
invaded a
never agreed to
country
do this.
non-provoked. I don't support the generals that are telling these young soldiers, "Oh, it's a war for Jesus. You have to go fight." No, wrong.
That's
Um,
hedgehog talking.
exactly. And Hedgehog is going to be gone too.
I
Um,
love it.
that's why I like this new pope. He's very much for peace, and he's very much for world peace. Um, it's just unfortunate that innocent American soldiers are being killed because of Trump's little war that's a diversion.
Yeah, and I got an email from a member who son is on a ship and they can't do any mail. They can't send them any care packages, nothing.
Yep, I know. I heard. Yeah, I saw that thing you posted. There's a song by John Prine. I love John Prine. He was a folk singer. He's dead now, but he had a song called "Your Flag Decal Won't Get You into Heaven Anymore." Remember all those little flag decals? He said, "Heaven's already overcrowded from your dirty little war. Jesus don't like killing, no matter what the reason for, and that flag decal won't get you into heaven anymore." The
Interesting.
song. And I think he wrote that during the Vietnam era, but I think it's very apropos as to what's going on now. So
Yeah, yeah.
everybody
Well,
here
I
is
see
done
these
fine.
particular guys, I see them safe. But I do see more hostages and I do see Armageddon explosions. So there's going to be death.
It's an
And remember
unfortunate.
what I said a while ago? I said if when he calls a war, when Trump calls a war, and people see that their American men and women are dying, that's when I see the military saying, take him out of here, even though some of them agree with him.
And remember when we said he's going to maybe be tried after he's dead for war crimes? And I still see that happening, not only because of what happened in Gaza, because of what he's done to in Iran, and killing our people, our innocent soldiers as well, because he sent them to a war to as a diversion. And don't kid yourself, for entertainment purposes only. Um, my guide showed me his pockets just stuffed full of money. So he and Netanyahu are making money on this war with oil, getting the oil proceeds.
Yeah. But by the way, I saw that money being taken away from him.
It will be. That's right.
And let me tell you something. There is a, what do you call it when you got an aim with a rifle? What is that?
The crosshairs.
There's crosshairs on every single member of Trump's family. Even if
Oh,
he called off the war, Iran and inside people are after his family.
yeah. I mean, if somebody invaded our country, regardless of who was our president, we'd stand up and fight. We'd be hopping mad. So he just coalesced the Iranians together, even though they were protesting against their government, and he said he went there to help those people. He did not. Hey,
Yeah.
Donald, you're killing your own people here. Um, it was just all, it was all illusion. It was all wag the dog.
I kept seeing ships on fire, which a lot of ships are on fire. It's not just American, it's other ships that they've been hitting. Did you know that Iran doesn't own that strait? They own a little tiny portion of it, but they don't own the strait. Did you know the UN owns the strait?
I didn't know
It
that.
was on the news this morning.
I did not know that.
And yet they're not coming forward saying, oh, yeah, America, go on through because they
They're not
can't
going
stand
to.
Trump either. They can't
And then
stand
Trump
him.
said, "Oh, it was a test to see, first of all, he said how much he needed them, and they just, the NATO countries and the European Union, and they didn't pay attention to him." And he goes, the very next paragraph, "Oh, I didn't need him. It was only a test." Yeah, right.
Yeah, he always does that.
I know.
I can't wait till his signatures on bills and stuff because what'll happen is when he's gone, all those bills will come back into the treasury. They'll replace them with good bills, and then they will all be burnt.
Exactly. And I'll be the first one burning them.
Yeah.
Okay. Napoleon says, the president of El Salvador has distanced himself from Trump for a while now. Does President Bukele know Trump is a big time liar who will turn on him?
Yep.
Well, the
Is that
president,
guy kind of a rough guy too?
he's a dictator.
Yeah.
I mean, he was doing great stuff down there before, he opened that prison down there. And that's where Trump is sending a lot of the detainees to that prison in El Salvador. And the president of El Salvador has made the national currency crypto, which who's making money on that? Um, now, he did knock out a lot of gangs and crime down there, but a lot of El Salvadorians aren't liking him. And if he's distancing himself from Trump, it's not because he knows that Trump will turn on him. It's because he's trying to save face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
Poor El Salvador. They have gone through so many crazy people.
Oh yeah, I know. Um, well, exactly. And a lot of South American countries have gone through dictator after dictator. Um, but it's happening here. Trump is the wannabe dictator.
Yeah,
So we can't criticize them because we got the same thing going on in our own country.
yeah. And not talking to Congress or anyone about doing a war and then expecting billions of dollars, and they're just wanting you to tell us what happened to the billions we gave you so many months ago. They don't feel they have to answer them.
Right, exactly.
Hold on, let me take a look real quick, you guys. Let me take a psychic look about when this war will end, okay? I just saw big as could be the word July. July. Oh, I wonder if it's around the 4th of July. Independence from Trump. Whoa. You know, I usually don't pick specific dates, but I just saw July just now when I psychically asked for help. Okay, so what? Oh, a lot of American men will be damaged from this war, and the United States is done with him. I see like wiping off the feet. You know what I'm saying? Wiping off the feet and wanting to. I see the White House totally empty. I think the military is going to come in and remove him. I think the military, I think we're going to immediately start proceedings. It's going to be so bad, you don't have to wait for a new president. It's going to be so bad that the Republicans that are in office now say, I don't know him. So it's like they're all going to say, let's get rid of him. That's what I saw. I hope I'm right, but that's what I saw.
Um,
July was very clear.
you were talking, I pulled a card. Look what came up. The tower.
We might even
Change.
get hit really hard with something in the United States, although I didn't see specifically that. But something's going to happen like the tower, where a lot of Americans are.
Evil.
Yeah,
I don't see Trump living long.
that's what I'm wondering. Does he die? What's.
And remember, you and I had predicted many years ago when we said we see him convicted, but we don't see him going to jail. Remember
Never
that?
saw him going to jail.
Never saw him going to
I
jail.
saw Jared Kushner going to jail.
Right, but we never saw Trump in jail. So when you were talking, I got cold chills. But then I thought, okay, let me pull a card. And I pulled the tower. And then, when you walk in a funeral home, that smell you get, ugh, that smell in a funeral home. And when I see that in a coffin and a hand going like this, it usually means crossing over is within a year. And when you were talking, that's what I saw for Donald Trump. That smell going into a funeral home, that coffin and a hand going like this.
Geez,
Uh,
he's standing up and going to sleep while he's
Right.
standing up.
And I'm thinking it might be because of his ill health is the thing that takes him out.
Yeah, so it's you know, if he dies, all the rats will scatter.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's going to be able to hold on to the Trump routine because nobody likes him.
Exactly. And if Shady Vance becomes president, he's not going to be president long.
No, no.
Um,
You know who else is in huge trouble? And I can't give you specifics, but I'll just say it out loud. Is Charlie Kirk's wife.
oh, yeah.
There's missing monies or something with monies with her.
Um, there's a bunch of them that are going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Clarence Thomas,
He's
couple
going to
justices.
exit before they even put him on trial. They'll try to come get him to come in, but I don't see him living long enough to be able to go through it all.
Kavanaugh,
Oh, he's in huge trouble.
big trouble. Stephen Miller, Pam Bondi, Christy Nolan,
Cash Patel.
Cash Patel, Trump's all of his. Who was that guy that Noam did those contracts with? I forget his name. He's in big trouble.
Oh,
So
Corey something.
Lewandowski or
Yeah,
something. Yeah, well, guess what? He's gonna go bye-bye too.
that Stephen Miller's in huge trouble.
I think it would be best just to put him in jail. And they will.
Yeah, they're really, this time we're not going to be gentle. Last time, I think, because Biden is a man that likes to not do that kind of stuff. But he should have made Trump get cuffed and put in jail. He should have done it.
I can tell you right now what they're going to do. States like Minnesota and Illinois are going to be prosecuting Kristi Noem because, and she'll be found guilty in those states because if the states prosecute her, then any future president can't pardon her.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's how I see that playing out as
Oh,
well.
listen, these people are going to be afraid for their life because when Americans get hurt, thanks to Trump, they will be in the, what did you call it when the eye is on them, the aim.
Oh, the crosshairs.
They'll be in the crosshairs. And let me just do a quick look real quick because can you believe we're already over 45 minutes? And I have to be on with, what's her name today? Ness.
What's her name?
Um, I want to look at Nancy Guthrie because everybody keeps asking me every time. The minute she disappeared, as much as I hated to say, and I think her family knows now, I saw she didn't live much longer after being taken. She might have died of natural causes. She might have had a major heart attack or something. Because I feel like they go, oh shit, she's gone.
Right.
So then they really don't have anything to work with. If she was still alive, she might have been able to come back. But I feel that she died of natural causes. I want to know where Nancy Guthrie is. Can you show me? Somebody is saying, is she in Mexico or
No, she's
Nancy,
in,
where are you? I feel she's still in Arizona.
I see a wooded area. I see a cliff. At the very bottom of that cliff, there's a very shallow hole. Um, and that's what I'm picking up.
Do you hear water around at all?
I do, but I see cactus, like buttes. Um, there's a cliff. There's like some kind of little, yeah, there's water close by. If she's not in water, it's very close by.
And there's not very much traffic. That's why nobody has
It's in
found
the
her.
middle
She's
of
been gone for
nowhere,
a while. Yeah.
right?
I
Do you
don't know
know?
how they figure out it's her. Could be because they find the jawbone, but they'll figure out that the
I think
family will know it was her.
I think it's going to be somebody out walking or hiking or something,
Yeah,
and they'll find something
I
like a
keep seeing a
bone.
dog, so maybe somebody's dog finds it.
Correct. Then it's, I mean, it'll be bones, but that's how I see it.
But
And
she
they'll,
says I'm still alive. She's just saying this to me because she is. She's
he's in
in the
spirit,
realm. Yeah,
right?
and her daughter was on some show talking about. She told her brother, "Do you think maybe they took her because of who I am?" And the mother is saying no. But she was saying, the brother told her maybe, yeah. And I was like, the mother doesn't want her to, Savannah Guthrie, to hold any kind of, it's her fault because it's not. She wants her to know that.
One of the perpetrators was a face she knew. Now, I'm not saying it was a friend or a family member. It could have been somebody who did some service work or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
She'd been checked out for a while.
right,
And they did think that they could get money because they think the daughter has money.
right. And they planned this for a long time. It wasn't
But
something,
but the mom died right away, is what I'm getting, and that wasn't part of the game plan.
no. Okay. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Sherry Alina says, "Hi, Linda and Mel. Are people like Shady Vance, the Maybelline Queen, Steve Miller, and others who are doing their evil deeds behind the scenes genuinely scared of the midterms and the possibility that they will be prosecuted in the near future? Or do they all still feel invincible and like they are above the law, even after the No Kings protest? Thank you again for all you do. Lots of love, light, and hugs to everyone." They feel invincible right now. It's like
I
people are
don't know what,
invincible.
and I almost feel like Trump is guaranteed that none of them will have to serve any time. They will be pardoned.
He did. He absolutely did. And that's why that they think that, that they can
That
get
they're
by with
carte
something.
blanche. They don't have to worry about nothing.
This is the card of battle. This is the card of conflict. And it shows that they have many legal battles coming to them, regardless of what Trump says.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he can issue a preemptive pardon. I don't know how that works. But where his federal
Yeah, but
pardons
you
will,
can't do pardons for something illegal like that.
correct. That's correct. And where it's also going to get him is it's going to be pardon proof because a lot of the states will say, okay, he's pardoned them federally, but we're going to try them in certain states,
Right,
and they'll
right.
be convicted in certain states. Like those ICE agents that killed those people, murdered those people, I should say, in Minneapolis. They're going to stand trial for murder, I'm
Oh, they're
telling
gonna get them for sure.
you. And they will get them.
They're all gonna serve, and nobody's coming up to save them.
Okay, let's see. You got a question, Linda?
Hold on. I read that 45 gave his son taxpayer money, $650 million loan. This loan was for a startup company. That's all going to be plastered on front page news, and he's in huge trouble, and they want their money back. This is where they're going to cut and paste. Trump won't be alive, but they're going to take Mar-a-Lago, they're going to take offshore accounts, they're going to ruin this family.
They're in deep doo-doo.
Yep.
They really are.
Should we do one last question?
Yeah. Um, Three Cats says, Linda, do you and your guides have any insight on the sheriff from Riverside County who took ballots from the Prop 50 vote? And will the sheriff be held accountable for ballot tampering? Thank you.
Oh, there's a court hearing coming up on it. He's going to be, they're going to tell him, give those damn things back.
Right.
I felt from the moment it happened, as outrageous, egregious that it was, I feel like he's not going to be able, like I see them slapping his hand. But
Yeah,
he's in trouble for doing that.
yeah, he's going to get in some trouble for it. That's right. We've got one more. Will we
Could
have
you
to?
imagine if a could you imagine if a Democrat went in and took a whole bunch of, can you
Oh my
imagine
God.
a
It would have
Democratic
been,
sheriff went in and said, I'm
oh,
taking these 650,000 ballots?
we've been nailed to a cross.
Yep.
Nailed to a cross. Okay, Sun Moon says, will we have to endure Fetterman until his term is up?
I saw that. I just saw that. He's starting to vote on the Democratic side now. He changed his mind and he's not going to go for the Save Act.
Um,
But he
Susan
doesn't
Collins.
get out till, I think I think this is my hit is, and then we can find out later. When we're almost 6 months away from the midterms, okay? When the midterms happen, it's such a wash. And then when the Republicans are sitting in the House and in Minneapolis or Philadelphia, I see a recall petition and it flies through.
Ooh, I don't see him. Yeah, I see him gone.
And
Um,
he knows it. That's why all of a sudden he changed his mind and decided not to vote for the SAVE Act. He voted against the SAVE Act.
I know Susan Collins voted for it,
I know she's going.
and she said she wouldn't. Well, for some reason, she's on my nerves today.
Yeah.
Fetterman, you know, it almost seems like he's a dino, Democrat in name only. Um,
But he had something happen with that stroke because he wasn't that way before.
I see him primaried out or voted out or whatever, probably even before his term is up. So when you were talking, I got cold chills, and that means yes. So whatever you said, that's a huge yes.
Okay, good, good.
Anyway. All right, my dear. I think
All
we
right,
said
you
one more, and
guys.
that
Are
was
you
three more
working
ago.
today a little bit?
Um, no, today I am going to go for a walk
Okay.
because it's beautiful. And I started some yoga exercises in the morning. And I started just kind of watching my diet a bit because I want to lose like 7 pounds between now and the time I leave for Europe. So
Is you taking your dog?
for the walk, Gary already took her this morning.
Oh, okay.
and you got to watch her because I don't know what it is about goose poop, but there's a lot of geese around, and whenever she sees it, she'll roll in it
Oh my God.
and she'll eat it. So you got to be really careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but she's allergic to everything, and if she rolls in the grass, she breaks out. So Gary
Yeah.
walked with this morning. So anyway,
Thank you guys for coming. So I'll see you next Monday.
you got it. All right.
Bye, you guys. Cheers.
Bye.